If you're looking to start a podcast, look no further. Bravery Studios is the place to make it happen. New Jersey's #1 podcast studio. All you have to do is come here and speak and leave the rest to us. We handle the production. We do the editing, uploading, graphics, logos, everything. You name it, we do it here in Bravery Studios. Don't let these ideas live rent-free in your mind any longer. Come to Bravery. Become a Braveheart. Start your podcast today.
I love you, Mom. I hope you had a great time at the interview with Marv, and it's finally here.
We love you, Aleta.
Love you, Aleta.
Hey, 90s kids, would you happen to remember this commercial?
Now go from dull to dazzling with Bead Magic, the exciting new way to make an everyday hairstyle come alive like magic. Just thread your favorite beads onto the Bead Magic wand, then pull hair through the loop and slide on the beads. It's so easy.
How about this one?
Oh no, that tired old style's been around for a while. But now there's Easy Combs, the easy new way to create dozens of dazzling new hairstyles instantly. Simply slide in one end of the Easy Comb, then stretch it around your hair and slide in on the other side.
And what about this one?
In Japan, the art of folding paper is called origami. Now experience the art of folding hair with Hairigami, the snap-action design tool for creating beautiful hair fashions with ease.
Aleta, it was mondo cool talking to you for an hour. I think you have one of the coolest jobs on planet Earth. Thank you for spending an hour with me, giving me your lore, your backstory, history. It was awesome to learn about all the cool things you've done with your life. And I hope everyone that watches this can walk away with a new perspective on the voice acting industry. So if you like what you're watching, like what you're seeing, make sure to subscribe, hit the thumbs up, notification bell. Without further ado, we are live from Bravery Studios. I'm here with Aleta. Aleta's a voice actor. How many years have you been doing it for?
Well, let's see. I did my first voiceover professionally that I got paid for when I was 26.
26.
I am now 62.
Oh, wow.
Do the math.
Well, you look great for 62.
Oh, thank you.
She's also the mother of one of my employees here, Spencer. I call him Scooter here. Did he tell you that?
Oh, Scooter. No.
I like to give all of my employees a nickname. And we have Anton on the boards.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
I asked him, what's going to be your nickname? He says, Anton. That's a regular name.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, we got to. He told me his name was Anthony. I go, Anthony.
Yeah.
Anthony.
I don't know. Well, he likes it. I'm going to call him what he wants to be called. But
how'd you come about with Scooter?
I don't know. I think I just said it by mistake one day. And sometimes those are the best nicknames when it just comes to you.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Love it.
So Scooter. Yeah, just Scooter. Sounds like a name you give someone maybe in the 30s or something in the 40s.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Like one of the dead end kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're Scooter.
Yeah.
There you go.
There's not enough Scooters in the world anymore, so Spencer can be Scooter now.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it. So yeah, I had my first paying voiceover job when I was 26. It was for a cable TV commercial. And I couldn't believe back in 1986 that I could make $75 in 2 minutes. And back then, $75 for you show up, read the script. It was great. Let's do another for a safety. Boom. I walked out with a check for $75.
And that was when $75 was probably $200, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
When I went to Seton Hall and I majored in communications, and everyone, in the TV production class asked me, a lot of kids were like, oh, can you voice over my video project? And, I did it not thinking that this could possibly end up as a career.
And that was before the commercial?
Yeah, that was before.
This
yeah,
is the first ever.
Maybe I was a junior in college. And I also loved to be in front of the camera. So I did quite a few student films, and I had a really blood-curdling scream. So I was in quite a few horror films.
So you've done like acting as well.
Oh yeah,
Person.
it's all tied in.
Yeah.
It's tied in. Voice acting, in front of the camera acting, print work led to. I was a receptionist. A photographer came in to take some pictures of the wood flooring and was like, "Oh, we're looking for a model for blah, 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 blah. Would you be interested?" So, the universe just kind of pointed me in this direction. And of course, being from Kearney, New Jersey, Hudson County.
Yeah.
I'll call you and then we'll have coffee at the mall. I mean, you have to have training.
I've called it Kearney my whole life. Is that how you really say it?
It's General Philip Kearney. It is not Kearney.
I would call it Kearney.
Kearney.
I've
You're not the
called
only
it Kearney.
one. But so I grew up in Kearney.
It's Italian, right?
Yeah, Italian.
Yeah. Bada bing.
And bada bing. That's right. Yep. Confessore means the confessor.
Oh,
in Italian.
Okay.
And so I kept my maiden name, although I am married, because it to me it's musical. Aleta Confessore.
Oh wow.
It's a musical.
I thought you just wanted to say something cool. That's your actual name.
That's
my beautiful.
actual name. Yes. Yeah. Oh, thank you.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Confessore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. It sounds. It's just. I think it sounds like operatic.
Beautiful. Yeah, it does.
Thank you.
And that's how they got the name for the Sopranos. That's the Sopranos is a term for what is it? An octave of
right
music, of singing, right?
Yeah. Sure. Yeah. Alto soprano.
Yeah.
So, and then one thing led to another. What I did after my first voiceover, I got up the confidence to study with a voice coach in New York, made a demo tape. It was a killer demo tape. I sent it out to everyone.
Wait, so you did the one job with your friend that asked you to do it, and that just made you say, "I'm going full in."
Oh, I'm going. Yeah.
You liked it. You loved it.
Oh, there's no question.
Yeah, we went from, "Hey, can you do this for me?" to, "Hey, this is my life now."
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That's awesome.
And it just, let's face it. You have to pray and move your feet. If you want something, a goal that you've set. Well, universe, please help me, blah, blah, blah. But you can't sit back. You have to study. You have to study. It's a business. You have to know the industry. You have to know who to contact, how to contact them, what to put on a successful demo reel. And I did all my homework, and it was really, I was just so lucky to be able to support myself in this business for so many years. Like, I've never not worked in voiceovers.
That's amazing. And did you have role models in this space? Like, is there anyone you can look up to and ask questions, or was it just a director?
Again, being I don't want to keep dating myself, but being old school,
Yeah.
I loved just being the talent. Like, I would, you go into, Aleta, and that was the wonderful thing. I never knew, I was never in the same place 2 days in a row. You're in this studio, you're in that studio. And it was wonderful because you get to meet a producer, a director, and I'm just the talent. So I'm taking your lead. You tell me how you want it read. And, I usually it's cold readings. I would very rarely get a script ahead of time.
Cold reading
meaning I would only on occasion would I get pharmaceutical scripts, because you'd have words like lysergic acid, diethylamide, esomeprazole, magnesium, things, medications. And it's like, okay, maybe could I get the phonetic spelling?
Yeah, that was scary that you said that without stuttering.
Well,
You-
there's no room for that in this business,
I can
because the,
imagine,
the,
yeah.
the client's paying for the studio time. You have to know what you're doing.
Yeah.
And you have to be able to take the direction. So as far as looking up or having mentors, I would read, I would practice, I'd be driving and, I'd see, uh, billboard signs and I'd say it, East Coast Toyota Mazda, East Coast Toyota Mazda, East Coast Toyota Mazda. I would just take a billboard and say it to myself 1,000 times, thinking maybe I could do it better this way or that way. But you constantly learn. I did have a couple of funny stories. I was called to do, it was a narration for a landscaping company. And the producer, he had a recording studio in his home, in his basement. And this was the first time I had worked with him. And, he gave the script to me and he said, I am in really no mood today for editing out any breaths.
Cool. So what does that mean?
That's what I
You
said.
can't breathe?
I'm like, oh, okay. And so and people don't realize this, that there's techniques with breathing when you're recording. You can be really breathy, like, or you can hear no breath. So I had to do this like 12-page narration, basically with no breath. Like I would end, the paragraph, take a breath, and then start. And
Wow.
he was so pleased that he called the client, and I overheard the conversation. He said, "She's like a dead body. There's just no breath in her. It's fantastic."
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that was back then. Now I have
That was-
a deep breather machine over there.
Yeah, that was, I don't even know. That was sometime in the 90s, but I'm like, oh my God. Plus the fact it was like, I'm being led down into a basement studio. It was just like it was a little closet. But I mean, it turned out to be great. I got a copy of it, and it was just one more fun thing to do and get paid very handsomely and put on a resume.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah.
To bring up during a podcast interview.
Yeah,
as well,
right. Who would think? I haven't thought about that story probably since it happened.
And after all this time, are there more stories? Are there things that kind of spooked you out, or things you had to read that you weren't comfortable reading?
Funny you should ask that, Marv. Yes, I was doing again a narration for a gynecologist.
Oh wow.
And I took a look at the script, and of course there was a lot of medical words, which was okay. But he insisted I look at the video, the surgery.
Oh wow.
I had to look at the surgery, and I mean, you can only imagine.
Why would he insist that though?
Well, he wanted me to have a clearer picture of what I was reading and matching it to, we are now, whatever. It was pretty much like a vaginal dissection.
Oh, God.
It's just awful. And it was so bloody and so gross. But I had to just, kind of, okay, I watched it. Mm-hmm. Okay. I'm like, can you make it black and white? Not, and I read the script. He matched it to, so that was somewhat uncomfortable. But I did it, and I got, listen, at the end of the day, I got a nice paycheck. I also received a script, and it was these guys were just great. They were located in Hackensack. They're no longer in business. We just call them Tommy and Ronnie from Creative. So, Ronnie calls me and says, "Listen, I have a script for you. It's not the most interesting subject, but if anyone can make it sound fantastic, it would be you. So it was about PVC pipes and what happens with human sewage after, when you go to the bathroom and you flush the toilet. So they like nicknamed me like the sludge queen. The video was so technical and boring, but the voice behind it, and I gave it my best. And again, it's all in a day's work. But there's fun. I did a lot of fun.
Yeah, let's go to a fun one now.
Yeah, let's go to the fun stuff. When my nieces and nephews were kids, I did a cable TV commercial it was called Fun Time Junction.
I've heard of Fun Time Junction. I've heard.
All aboard for fitness and fun at Fun Time Junction, just minutes away on Fairfield Road in Fairfield. These kids would hear me. They'd go crazy. They would go insane. And it was so sweet that they recognized, they knew when they saw the commercial that they were going to get to hear me. And every time I would, go and have dinner or take them out or take them to Fun Time Junction, it was just, So, it was fun, just to be recognized with that.
I can imagine.
Yeah. But, it's really, it's the kind of work that you do have to go out of your comfort zone for sure. But you stretch yourself with learning and, you question yourself. Oh, can I do this? I did a lot of pharmaceutical, work, before different medications were approved by the FDA. They would do the clinical trials. And I worked with a company that did all the randomizations, like all around the globe. And so they used to have the doctors and the patients call in and, press 1 if you're having a reaction to esomeprazole, magnesium, or whatever the hell it was, So that was a beautiful gig. That lasted about 13 years, like a Broadway run.
Wow.
So,
and that's how you earn a living off of it, right? You find gigs that keep giving.
Yeah.
The sessions and everything.
Yeah. I mean, I've only had one national TV commercial. And that paid residuals because I'm non-union. So, and I really, I just am so grateful that I have been able to make a living being non-union because, if you're in the union,
you're guaranteed work.
No, I mean, no one's guaranteed work. Yeah. No one. You're if you're good, you work.
Okay.
Not saying, but I mean, I feel just so grateful and lucky and blessed to always have had this work in my life. And once that ended, like any person in and it is show business. I mean, it really is. Yeah. It's acting, it's voice, it's this. You got to get out there and start your hustle again.
And look for another gig.
Where am I going to get this? So one door closes, you start getting out there and hustling, and then another door opens.
Do you still have to do that today?
Not really. I don't like auditioning because I feel it's a very obscure way of obtaining work.
I've never thought of it that way.
It's obscure and it's nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
So for me, what I'll do is I'll send a demo reel, and it used to be, at first when I started, it was all on cassette, and you'd mail out your cassettes, and they'd listen, and then it went to CDs. Now everything is online, so you just click
the button. An email.
Yeah, you email, you like it, you hire me. If not, that's okay.
Yeah.
So it's always, it's just a continuation. And I would, I feel that like the best defense is a good offense. You know what I mean?
Bingo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So things end, or you don't. We want to touch upon getting paid fairly. I mean, there's been many voiceover gigs where it's like, are you kidding me? You're insulting me. You got to go a little higher or whatever. But I'm very flexible. If you have a big budget, hey, I'm going to ask you for more money. But I realize that companies have had economic downturn, and certain companies can't, afford to pay a certain rate, for me. And, that's okay. You can find a secretary to do it
Yeah.
for that, whatever. And I just go right on to the next job.
You mentioned being non-union. Is there a particular reason why you decided to be non-union?
It's not as if I haven't tried to, let's put it this way. I have sent my demo reels to different agents and agencies in the city, and I get pretty much the same response. You sound great, but you sound just like everybody else. And so nobody wants their roster filled with the same people. I mean, let's face it, you're on a talent roster. No one's going to sit and listen to 20 voices. If you're not in the top 5, usually like a producer has an idea of what they're looking for. I don't know. I mean, I can only say for myself, I would not sit and listen to 25 voices.
I think you're
It
right.
would be like in the first maybe 3 to 5. And so that was basically what I was hearing, was that, we like how you sound, but you sound very much like 10 other women that we have. And so, okay, thank you. I appreciate your feedback. But I'll just go and do the non-union stuff.
Yeah.
That's it.
But there's some jobs you just can't get unless you're in a union, right?
Yeah. But for me, I mean, money is important, but it's not. I mean, how can I like say this without sounding like she's really out there? Yes, we all want to get paid handsomely. We want to get paid what we're worth. I mean, listen, I've studied. I know the business. I know what I should get paid for each job. But I don't have to have fame and fortune and this and that. I mean, it's like this to me is what I feel like I'm drawn to do. And I'm happy that, when it comes right down to it, if you have to spend, 8 hours a day or 10 hours a day devoting your life to work, it better be something, number one, that you like, number two, that you have fun with. I mean, this is really, it's really a fun career. I mean, I drive around saying, I can't believe I get paid to read.
Out loud.
Something I love to do.
Yeah.
I always had a book in my hand when I was, and I still do. So, listen, if I did get signed by a big agency and they had a Folgers spot for me that paid whatever, yeah, I'd probably go for it. But that opportunity hasn't knocked on my door yet. Gotcha. And if it does, great. If it doesn't, that's okay too.
Yeah. Either way, you're still going to be happy just doing it, right?
And, also, we again, I said it was show business. You have to have something else in your bag of tricks. Like if it stopped for me tomorrow, I have my substitute teaching license. I went to massage therapy school, always kept my license current. You have to have a plan B.
Gotcha.
Gotta have a plan B, whatever it is. So, I say that to up and coming people that want to get into this business, and a lot of people, contact me or whatever, and oh, so and so said I had a good voice. Well, yeah, that'll get you nowhere.
That's the most common thing I hear people say.
Oh, I can do that. I have a good voice.
Yeah.
Wait until you get into a studio and you have a script and they say, bring it back, lower it, but raise the pitch. Show me your energy, but keep it sexy. I don't want to hear this. It takes more than a good voice, for that.
Yeah.
You just have to know what you're doing.
Yeah. And you said you got into this around college, right? Was the family supportive? Because you weren't going the natural route of, I mean, this is back then too, when, Italian household, I would imagine.
Oh my God. But I had the best, don't get me started. I had the best parents.
Really? They were supportive of this?
Oh my God.
Oh, wow.
Oh my
I would have thought differently.
My father and mother, they were so generous. I mean,
That's awesome.
my father may, God bless him, rest in peace. He was a physics teacher.
Yeah.
And he believed in education. He put all of us, my older sister's a veterinarian. I kind of went the artsy way. My younger sister is a speech language pathologist.
Are you the middle child?
I'm the middle child.
Yeah.
So there you go.
You and me both.
Yeah. So you know.
I know.
And if you have this creative mind, I'm sorry, you can't work 9 to 5 in an office. I've tried and I gained 50 pounds in 1 year. No. But, my dad at one point said to me, I'm a little worried about you. Like, how do you expect to support yourself? Because I didn't marry or have children until I was in my 40s. So, I was like, oh, how am I going to do this? Well, but he said, I'm with you, whatever you want to do. So after college, he paid the tuition, got us all through school. I want to go to acting school. He wrote me a check for acting school. I want to do voice lessons. My father, voice lessons, massage therapy school. Here you go. My father worked his entire life to give us whatever tools we needed to succeed.
That's awesome.
He was just, they don't make men like that anymore. They don't. And then when he retired from teaching physics, he was so handsome. And I said, you might want to consider this as your plan B after retirement. What are you going to do? He retired. He wasn't golfing. He wasn't, he was driving my mother crazy.
Yeah.
And so I got a call one day I was doing an on-camera commercial, and one of the actors called in sick. So the producer called me and said, I need a sleazy realtor. Who can you get? I go, oh, no problem. Hello, Pop. I need a sleazy realtor. Get mommy. You got to have a wife. I had my niece in the commercial.
Wow.
You want to talk fun. It was like one of the best days. And then one thing led to another. He started getting more and more on-camera work.
You got your father into acting?
Got my father into it.
That's beautiful.
I took him into New York. I got him headshots.
Wow.
He was doing print work. Because he looked like Luciano Pavarotti. My father was very dark, very handsome, very alluring, charming. And
I'm not familiar with Luciano, but
okay, he was an opera singer who just had this commanding voice, commanding presence.
Gotcha.
So my father, being like, oh my God, this is fantastic. We did a Toys R Us industrial spot. We actually worked together. We worked on films, and then the grandkids started coming around, and he just said, I'm done. I want to spend time with my grandchildren. But it was great. He earned some money. We had a great time together. My parents were loving and very, very supportive.
That's
I mean, my
awesome.
sister's a doctor, and my other sister is a speech language pathologist. So they got two mainstream daughters, and then me, the creative
Yeah,
muse.
the bohemian.
The bohemian. Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, I guess I got to do better. Hey, Pop, I'm gonna get you into podcasting.
You never
I gotta
know.
do better. Yeah.
You never ever know. And you know what's so nice is that I have copies of everything. Remember VHS tapes?
Yeah, I do.
I have everything that my dad did and myself, and things that we collaborated on together. I have everything on VHS. And one of my resolutions is I've got to find a place that will transfer from VHS
to digital,
to
right?
digital.
Spencer can do it for you. Put him to work. He can do it.
Scooter.
Yeah.
This kid. Okay, so I just got to tell. I mean, I love him to death because he's my boy.
Yeah.
One and done. During the pandemic, I had to learn how to record at home, and I was panicked.
Yeah.
I am technologically, what's the word? I don't want challenged. And so when the studio that I was working at have said, pandemic, nobody's in here, but we still need all of these scripts recorded. Okay. I said, Spence, you have to help me. You got to show me. Oh, this is easy. Bah, 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 bah. You said, boo, bah, 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 bah. And I'm like, I don't know what button. And he's like yelling at me. I'm like, you don't understand, kiddo. I grew up with a typewriter. That's in college. My mother would type, on the whatever it was, the swinger typewriter, with the backspace. Bah, 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 bah. I said, I don't know. I missed all of this. I really did.
Yeah.
So, he, thank goodness, he took time with me and he showed me. I mean, I can do it in my sleep now, but I don't like to, because I like to just go in, you give me a script, we record it, you edit it, you add the music. I don't want to be an editor.
Yeah.
I don't want to put music in. I don't want to take out breaths. No, I just want to be the talent. That's how things run efficiently.
Yeah.
When you start cross-training people to do, let's face it, Barbara Streisand and Liza Minnelli, they're not engineering their recordings. I mean, and I'm not on that level with them by any means, but no, and then we create jobs for people, and then you know what you have to do, and you do it, and you have a deadline, and you meet that deadline. And as far as being the talent, you have to show up. You have to show up ready. And there's really no excuses. I never, through death, birth, COVID, I never missed a beat with work.
Wow.
I was in labor with Spencer.
Oh, wow.
In labor, I had 2 huge jobs that day. And, this one client was like, well, do you think we can wheel a microphone in the delivery?
Wow.
Give me a break. No, it's gonna be a week. I'll be back, and when he was little in the carry-all thing, I used to take him to the studios with me. The secretary, keep him in here, keep him quiet. I'm going to go record. Boom. Get him back in the car seat. Go to the next job. I mean,
And he was quiet the whole time?
He was quiet, believe it or not.
Kind of hard to keep him quiet now.
Yeah, no. And he wouldn't sleep back then. Now, you can't get him up. He didn't eat back then. I can't get him to stop eating now, but thank God for him, because he's really taught me and just shown me things that I don't know,
And now I see why you're so supportive of him working here and of the studio itself. I get it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I what my parents gave to me, I'm giving to him.
I see.
And that's just how it is. I said to him, we will pay for your education, whatever it is that you need, whatever it is, your equipment. I want you to succeed, but you have to work for it. You have to get out there and prove yourself, because you got to show up. Especially this business, is just crazy. I was many times at recording studios at midnight, in Edgewater, because the studio time was cheap, when no one was there. And it's like, well, can you make it? It's like, okay, yeah, if that's the time you need me, I'll be there. You just can't sit back and let it all pass you by. You have to be
Very true.
You have to be a part of it.
Showing up is half the battle.
Yeah.
Yeah, in most cases. So speak to me about the Verizon gig. You became the voice of Verizon.
Well, yes.
Nationwide.
Yes. Okay. So it was just a great experience. Back in the day, it used to be Bell Atlantic and then
That's
9X, right?
That's right.
And
I remember the Bell Atlantic commercial.
Bell Atlantic, yeah. And I think 9X, or was it 9X bought out? But I don't know how all that corporate stuff goes. But I was fortunate enough to have been chosen to be, the new voice, and not just. They had different voices in different areas of the country, but it was just a fantastic
Was this in your way?
opportunity. Oh, no. Because each week, I would go into the recording studio and do their voice prompts and their store locations.
This started at what year? This is 1990?
Oh, yeah, whenever this had to be, this was 20 years or better. Yeah, it had to be.
Wow.
Yes. And, I went on location. They had, the Verizon buildings. Bell Atlantic was in Morristown and Orangeburg. And, I would go and just record the prompts, right there. And then with technology and everything, I could just go into the studio and, and it just became, welcome to Verizon Wireless. We never stop working for you. And, Spencer and I was little, and he'd be in, we'd go to Target and he would scream out, "My mom's the Verizon lady. Come on, Ma." And people would turn around, and I'm like, oh my God.
I think that was the first thing he said to me.
Right.
Watching here.
So, you keep it on the down low, and then more and more people were like, for real. The funniest was when my niece, Melanie, was in college, and she went to Paris with a bunch of her girlfriends on spring break. And I get this phone call, like, I guess I don't know, it was the middle of the night, because they were, I forget. And she said, they don't believe me that you're the voice of Verizon. They don't believe me. And I go, okay, just give me a minute. Take a swig of water. And they were like, you could hear the screams in the back. I'm like, this is, it's not, it's not brain surgery. It's not rocket science. It is, it's voice acting. But it was fun to get that reaction. And so now, I guess, they're using a robot, which, yeah, I'm sorry
for 20 years.
Yeah, or better, I'm sorry to say. So that cuts me and I guess the other voice talents out. But, I'm just very sad that the opportunity, I'm happy for having had that experience and opportunity. So maybe I'll try to get into negotiations with T-Mobile or AT&T, listen, sometimes you have to jump ship.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You hate to do it, but this is business, and we have to We have to make a living.
Absolutely.
So if anyone out there from T-Mobile or AT&T
If you're
needs some
watching.
voice prompts.
Yeah. Well, I'm trying to recall when might have been the first time I heard your voice, because I I definitely have heard your voice before.
Well,
on voice machines.
You know, it's funny because there's generic, I'm sorry, I didn't get that. Please hold. Your call is being transferred. This is all over, you know. And so whether you realize it or not, and there's I mean, I'm on a bunch of message on hold programs, you know, big corporations, Horizon, Blue Cross, Blue Shield, you know, if you call, you can hear me.
Have you ever been surprised hearing your voice somewhere and forget you did that job?
Well, what happened, okay, so I'm non-union and I never signed any exclusivity contracts with anybody.
Yeah.
So I did 2 car commercials, one for a Toyota dealer in Jersey City and another for a Toyota dealer in East Rutherford. One played on Hot 97, one played on CBS FM, pretty much. And I heard the one on Hot 97 and I didn't hear the one on CBS. And there were phone calls to the producers. What the hell is going on with it's the same, it's the same, you know, so there was kind of a conflict. But I'm like, yeah, okay. Where is it written? Where's it written? So yeah, you chose me. You chose me.
You from doing that.
Yeah, there you go. But there's certain things you don't want to step on anyone's toes. But yeah, it is kind of cool when you drive around and it's like, oh, yeah, that's me. And then during the Dristan commercial, which was on camera, and that was national, and it was played during the World Series in like 1992. Wow. So I was getting residual checks every 13 weeks.
You know who played that year?
I'm sorry?
Do you know who played that year?
You know what? Who played?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know.
It would have been an interesting fact.
Yeah, I have to look that one
up. My voice between Yankees. It must have been the Yankees and somebody.
Exactly.
It was the 90s.
I could find out. And people were calling me and it was like, was that you I just saw on a Dristan commercial? I said, yeah. During the World Series? Yeah. Cool. It was great. It was great. It was fun, you know? And it just keeps, going on. I mean, I can work as much as I want or as little. And as long as my voice holds up, I don't yell. I don't smoke. I've never, even back in the 80s in the bars and the 90s when you still could smoke, I couldn't be in that environment because, your vocal cords are so precious.
You take care of your voice. That's impressive. I think is it Daltrey of The Who? Have you listened to
Roger Daltrey?
Roger Daltrey can't sing anymore.
I have to tell you, I saw him a couple years ago at the Wellmont. I hate to say it, but I couldn't enjoy the show. I was so tense waiting for him to he just couldn't hit the notes. Couldn't do it.
And I think he did the Super Bowl like at least more than a little over 10 years ago. And that didn't go too well either, I think, from what I remember.
You have to
take care of your voice.
You have to take care of your voice. And also you have to know when to say when. You know what I mean? True. Like my day is going to come. I'm going to have to pass the torch on to somebody else, go do your thing. I had very distinguished, lucrative career, but there's going to come a day, but that we're all going to face, retirement. And
you might not, because I'm recalling famous voices that I think have always done it. Like you can do it at any age.
You can, yes, you can. But as we age, the vocal cords begin to thin out. The vocal folds.
Okay.
So you can, but you may start sounding a little bit like craggly
Yeah.
or shrill. But for the most part, you could play something from 20 years ago and then listen to something current, and there's no difference in the way that my voice sounds.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Al Pacino in the 70s, sounding really mousy and this is my father's business, and then 90s,
Yeah.
is that just all smoking? Is that what happened to him?
Well, that probably. I was just talking to a producer the other day that said he had one voice talent that he worked with that was a very heavy smoker and was very, very, down here.
Yeah.
And he was a male, and for health reasons, of course, he had to stop smoking. And then he just didn't get any work. He had to basically start again to get that raspy voice.
Yeah, you get used to it.
Yeah.
Used to hearing it. Yeah.
I wouldn't, I wouldn't go down that road for anything.
I can imagine.
You
Yeah. That's your moneymaker in there.
Well, yeah, that's it. But I did want to touch upon the video game, the Bayonetta.
Yes. So I sent her some videos of something that's currently happening in the video game industry, and I know gaming isn't really your thing, but I likened it to your story of Verizon being replaced by the machine.
Mm-hmm.
So for anyone who also not into video games, this woman has been voicing a character for almost over 10 years now, and they recently replaced her because she was asking for more money, and it said no. Even though there's more details there, she might have lied about the exact number about it, and whatnot. But the overall thing of just being so replaceable as a voice actor for something that you've been doing for over 10 years, in your case, 20, or plus 20 plus years. How does that feel? I mean, what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on the story entirely that I sent you?
Listen. I understand where she's coming from. I truly do. We like to get paid for what we're worth. Certainly, it is somewhat insulting, not only to your bank account, but also to your ego. I like to say I really have no ego when it comes to this, but that's a lie. I mean, we all, we are, what we do is a big part of our lives, but I'm not on social media. I'm a very, very private person. I feel like I'm the best kept secret in the world.
You really are. Are.
It's hard to, someone who knows me. That's how we, I just don't put it all out there for people to know. And so I do understand what she's saying. However, I just wouldn't have taken that. I would have just been
very extreme, no?
Very extreme, very extreme. And I certainly understand. I would never ask for anything more than what I was getting. I negotiated a rate with, a company that I worked with, for 30 years. They had an economic downturn. And, I will never ask for more. I'm happy and satisfied with what I get, but I won't take less. You understand?
Gotcha.
So, in the case of the gal who, was the voice character for the video game, listen, sometimes fine, you moved on. You said no. I'm not taking $4,000 when I could, get 40,000. Okay, so look in your bag of tricks, pull something else out. Listen, we've all studied. we've all done our homework. You move on, and you don't cry about it. For me personally,
Yeah.
I mean, and don't get me wrong, I could get on social media and name names and this and that. That's not me.
It might happen now on your behalf when people watch this.
Yeah, but I'm grateful and thankful for the opportunities that certain companies and clients have given to me. You know, I truly am. Whether you know, I can make thousands and gazillions or not. I mean, I won't take less than. I'm not asking for more. I'm asking for things like homeostasis. Let's just keep it. Let's keep it even. You know.
I'm gonna repeat that word now. I like that word.
Yeah, homeostasis. We just like it. You know, I don't want to ruffle anybody's feathers, but you know,
Bingo.
if you don't want me, somebody else will. Right?
What I really liked about the story is finally hearing numbers for how much someone gets paid for that kind of work. So they offered her $4,000 in total for 4 days of work, which were 4 hours a piece each. So that's about $250 an hour, if I'm not mistaken. $1,000 a day.
Right.
Does that sound right? Like, is it? I know she's more. It's a video game thing. I don't know if it's a difference, but
well, you know, I always worked with clients. Let's face it, my pharmaceutical gigs, we know pharmaceutical.
Yeah.
Big pharma, big money.
Yeah.
So I would never lowball myself for pharmaceutical. But if it's an up and coming video production company and we really like your voice, but we can only pay you, you know.
Well, it's a big company, actually.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you know, I would try to work with the clients, but, you know, if it was a ridiculously low amount they wanted to pay her, I don't blame her for walking away. I don't know, because I mean, I've done audiobooks and they pay very well, very well. I mean, I like to do the K through 8 because I like to learn.
Yes.
You know, I don't do the novels.
As you're reading it, you're learning.
Oh,
yourself.
I'm learning. I learned about the state of Illinois like nobody's business. You know, things that we don't pay attention to. But, you know, I got paid very, very well for doing that. So I would say in video game voiceovers, there is a big budget there for sure.
I mean, that game is not the most popular ever, but the company behind it, yeah, I mean, they're huge. They're huge.
You know, unless, and I hate to even say this, but maybe they just wanted a fresh new voice.
Could be that as well. She was replaced by someone who actually is bigger in the video game voice acting scene.
Okay, so, you know, and we have to, you know, we have to accept that as well. I know in the 90s, I pretty much saturated the market with those as seen on TV commercials. But wait, must be 18 or older to call, so call now. You know, and it was, oh my God, it was great. It was fantastic, but it seemed like it was every other you turn it on, it's like, oh, there she is again. You know, so you know, I mean, I was loyal to the companies. I'd love to work for them again and again and again, but I don't blame them in a way. You probably want a new voice. So then you move on.
It happens.
You know,
It
open up the
happens.
bag, boom, let's do something else here. So I don't know. Maybe that's what they
Could have been. She also used to go to the conventions where like the fans would like praise her, like, hey, you know, your voice like defined my childhood, or
Yes.
some of the younger girls, like your voice was like my like what I listened to for motivation
right.
in that video game playing it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that definitely inflated her ego.
Of
Just
course.
justifiably too, maybe.
Right.
even.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
yeah.
That's why she kind of
Yeah.
deserving of more.
I just,
likely.
you know, it was funny because Spence showed me something the other day. Like, I'm not, as I said, I don't do Instagram. I don't do this, that. But he said, I did a spot for Bead Magic, and it was one of those things in the 90s, like 1996, or was it Easy Combs? I forget what product it was, but somebody put the commercial on. And one girl this was, I begged my mother for this product back in 1996, and Spencer played it, and I was like,
It was your voice?
yes.
Wow.
And I said, let me.
We might have to find that and add that to the video.
Oh, absolutely.
Spencer,
go on YouTube.
Scooter, send me the link.
Yeah. I looked on, I did look on YouTube, and it was Easy Combs. And I just said, God, just for giggles, let me scroll down and see what the comments are. And somebody wrote, who is this voice actress? I mean, you don't think of these things, But it was
you can be a staple in someone's mind.
Yeah, for all the little girls with all those the great products, the nail polish products I used to do. So I do understand, where she's coming from, but I would just say go gracefully, go leave with grace and know that if you are good, you will work again, and someone else will pick her up. I mean, a door closes, another one opens.
Exactly.
We can't keep. I'm no longer the.
Yeah.
I could walk around the block and meet the next new client.
What are some voices that you love? I personally, Casey Kasem.
Casey Kasem. Oh, I loved, and you probably, as far as DJs, Meg Griffin. Do you remember Meg Griffin?
Yeah,
She was on NEW. She was just, she was smooth. She just was smooth. Allison Steele. I mean, this is going way back. FM radio. Casey Kasem was. I mean, you knew who he was. Do you remember Soul Train?
I do. Oh,
Don Cornelius. Oh, he was.
What a voice.
Don Cornelius was just, I could listen to, he could read the telephone book, love, peace, and soul.
Yeah.
There's so many out there, but those are the ones that stand out.
Yeah.
And you learn a lot from listening to that. My idol, my true idol, who's still alive at 95 or 96, is Johnny Gilbert, who is the announcer for Jeopardy.
Oh.
He's amazing. I mean, I am a very big, that's the only TV show that I watch is Jeopardy between 7 and 7:30. Don't bother me. The house can burn down. I don't care what's going on. I watch Jeopardy. But for years, I used to say, if Johnny Gilbert retires, I'm heading out to California. Introducing Alex Trebek.
Wow.
Introducing the host of our show, Ken Jennings. I just, he's amazing.
I have to listen to it. It's been a couple of years since I've watched Jeopardy.
And you find out what you know and what you don't know, what subjects you need to study, and what ones you're good at.
I bet. I mean, I was good at trivia, but
yeah, it's really pretty much the same. If you have good recall and you're good on the buzzer.
Yeah, I bet.
But he's amazing. He still works. He's probably around 96. Sounds phenomenal. I did work with Bob Arsena, who was the announcer for the Devils, the New Jersey Devils. We did his beautiful, beautiful voice.
Still doing it to this day?
Wonderful human being. No, I speak with him every now and then. But he's retired, but he had such a powerful, wonderful voice, and we did a lot of projects together.
Gotcha. How about actors and actresses? Are there voices that you love in movies?
I'm just gonna say this.
Not a movie person?
Yes, I mean, I do love movies, and I mean, let's face it, James Earl Jones.
Yeah. Great voice.
I mean, great voice, great
Yeah.
actor, great,
Yeah.
just all around. But it kind of, kind of pisses me off, makes me a little angry when I hear these uh, famous actors doing the voiceovers on TV,
Cartoons.
on cartoons,
TV,
and
yeah.
I mean, come on.
I think Robin Williams might have ruined it with the genie because he
Yeah.
knocked it too far out of the park.
Yeah,
And the movie studio said, we got to get actors to do these voices now.
right. And there's so much talent out there.
Yeah.
There is just so much talent. Why are we using these big named actors and actresses voicing over luxury car commercials and no.
Yeah.
I respect the fact that you're a famous actor, but you don't need the money,
Yeah.
stick. I mean, and it all kind of crosses over and blends, but I guess just being mainly a voice actor, make room for the up and coming people.
Yeah.
That's how I feel.
And a lot of the times they don't put as much effort into it. In video game world, they have hired like famous actors from Hollywood to do video game characters.
Okay.
And the voice actors, the actual voice actors, sound better than the movie actors.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, there's I can see that. It's like college basketball is so much more exciting and enthusiastic than the NBA.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They have the drive. They want to.
They're playing for the love of the game and to make
The love of the game, right? And to make it and to make their name. And so these non-famous voice actors doing video games, they're hungry for it. They want it.
Oh yeah.
They want it.
And they get to go to the conventions and they get to get the praise from the fans and whatnot.
Right.
Whereas you hire Matthew McConaughey to come be Mario. Matthew McConaughey's not going to go to the fans and say thank you for
right.
whatnot. He's got more important things to do.
Right. I mean, Spencer has kind of turned me on to, he likes when I watch the video games, but and so I do kind of hone in on what I like about it and the voices that I like. And he kind of turned me on to the nerd, the angry video game nerd.
Yeah. He's
Love
from
that
Jersey
guy.
too. Yeah.
He's from Jersey.
Yeah.
He's amazing.
He is.
He's just so funny and talented. And, he had my mother, may God rest her, watching the.
That's raunchy stuff that you guys are watching
raunchy.
over there.
And I always say, what are words? The words, your words have power, but,
He started the whole video game content creator internet thing.
Yes.
He was the originator of that.
Yes. He's so smart.
Yeah.
I have not read his book.
I didn't know he had one.
Yeah,
I gotta actually watch it.
Yeah.
I have to actually read it.
Yes, because I am an avid reader, but I haven't gotten around to get his book, and I would love for him to do a convention and.
Oh yeah,
maybe.
he does them, so you can definitely find them at conventions around that area, I think.
Yeah.
But that was my high school, watching his videos all the time.
So funny.
Yeah.
The top 10. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. Sometimes I feel not like I'm a bad mother, but should I really let my
At this point, at 20, 21 soon.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do? I mean, I couldn't show my mother what I was watching at that age. Well, in high school, I couldn't show her. I still can barely.
Spence and I have, we're one and the same. He's so much like me, it's scary. And I always tell him, come to me, tell me what you're doing.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to find out anyway. So might as well just, be open and honest. But he's a good kid.
Oh yeah.
And I just, as I said, I'm grateful and I appreciate you giving him the opportunity to work here and to learn.
I couldn't get rid of him.
And he's kind of like a mosquito. It's like, get the hell out of here, But I'm very grateful
Thank you
for that.
Thank you. And he's part of the family now at this point. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, he
So-
has a nickname, Scooter.
Scooter,
so-
yeah. Scooter's part of the family already. He's part of the wolf pack.
Yeah,
We
that's
just-
great.
Yeah.
That's great.
And he's been here a year now. Over a year.
Has it? Yeah.
It's been over a
Over a
year.
year, yeah.
Incredible. I remember the first call I had with you. And you were so passionate about having him work here. You
Oh.
said the Verizon spiel without, and you said
Yeah.
you would do my answer machine.
Oh, I'll do it. Yeah.
We should do
We'll
that.
do it today.
We
Yeah,
should
write
do
a
it.
script.
We could write on this podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get your script going.
Yeah.
Love it. Love it. And I
Buddy.
thank you for the opportunity to have me in to talk about something that, you know,
This has been awesome. I learned a lot from this.
yeah,
And
a lot of fun.
I want to find that commercial from the 90s that you were on.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Actually, I want to find a couple of them.
Yeah,
That'll be fun to
I know
do.
them. I know
Yeah.
them all on the top of my head.
Yeah,
So we can get going with that.
definitely. But
Excellent.
it's been an honor.
Thank
Aleta,
you.
okay. I've always wanted to learn about voice acting. I have the same story as everybody, the same spiel, like, oh, you get told you have a great voice, you should look into it. But I never ever put the effort into actually looking into it.
I
But-
will suggest to you, are you bilingual?
I
You
am.
speak Spanish?
Yeah.
Because, you know, I only wish that I took Spanish in high school instead of German, because I get a lot of, the only thing I really can say is para continuar en español marque dos. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
And they usually write it out phonetically, and then
Yeah.
I'll, try to practice it and try to sound, like a native speaker.
Yeah.
You'll go places if you
Yeah.
follow up with doing Spanish.
I'll look into it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But some of your story is intimidating with the, raise the pitch, lower the speed.
Well, that's where you have to be able to take direction
Yeah.
and give the Kinks made a song back, I forget what year. You got to give the people what they want.
Yes.
You've got to give the client what they want, and do it 1,000 times until you get it right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's second nature. Bring the energy up, bring the shrillness down, make it a little smooth.
Ooh.
You can do it. You just have to
That was beautiful.
got to know what you're doing.
Since you brought up music again, before we close out, what are your favorite musicians? Like the voices. Like, what musician has your favorite voice?
Oh wow! Now we're okay.
This is more your ballpark, because I hear you referencing music a lot. So
Yeah, I'm a big fan of live music.
yeah.
My next reinvention of myself at some point is going to be a jazz singer. I want
Ooh.
to sing jazz. I was raised on rock and roll,
Mhm.
and so Bruce Springsteen,
Springsteen.
the Allman Brothers,
Yeah.
Bob Dylan is genius.
Yeah.
For jazz singers, Anita O'Day, Ella Fitzgerald, Billie Holiday. These were women, in my opinion, that can scat, can sing, can pitch match, just so beautiful. Music to me is therapy. I love the music of the 60s. I went Friday night to the Mayo Center in Morristown, and it was all music of Woodstock. Janis Joplin, Richie Havens, Jimi Hendrix, The Who, Joe Cocker,
Santana.
Carlos Santana.
Yeah.
Oh my God. It just, music for me it's so therapeutic. And I actually did backup vocals for, it was just so funny. My sisters and I had a big party this summer just in celebration of everything. There's been births, there's been deaths, there's been sorrows and happiness. And we just said, we are getting everyone we know together. And we're throwing this party, and we hired a band. And my sisters and I wound up singing with the tambourine, backup vocals for the Cars. You know, they did a few Cars songs. I actually met Rick Ocasek in the city. I had a moment with him. The band, we did backup vocals for some songs that the band, and it was like this harmony thing. Not that we're singers, but it was like this energy between sisters and love of music, and it was like Woodstock. It was fantastic. So look for me in 10 years. Maybe I'll be singing in a jazz club.
That was beautiful. Well,
thank you
so much for this interview.
Thank you. I really had fun. It was great.
I learned a lot.
Me too.
So this has been live from Bravery Studios with Aleta Confessore.
Yes.
Did I say it correctly?
Yes, you did.
Hey, I did it. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, notification bell, thumbs up, all that jazz, and keep on keeping on.